Recording. And once again, the following Zoom session is being recorded and will appear later today on my YouTube channel, Math with Mayo. There are 3 different classes that may be observing this session. Therefore, when you participate in the Zoom meeting, if you do not wish for your picture or your name to be made public, please leave the video off and use an alias name. If you have questions during the meeting but do not wish to speak, email me at bmayo@ybcc.edu and I will respond as soon as I can. Okay, so here we go. Yesterday we did 5.5. Today we're eventually going to get to 5.6. I had 4 different students request some of the same problems. Rather than do each problem 4 different times, I'm basically just going to do an example of 4 different problems, and then yours will be similar but have different numbers, okay? So let's see here. We need to do this. And now can you see the WebAssign screen in front of you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We're going to start with problem number 16. And so perform the operation. What we have negative 6x squared y squared plus 14y squared. And then we're subtracting from that 8x squared y squared plus 5xy minus 22y squared. Okay, so we're taking this binomial and subtracting this trinomial. So the first thing we're going to do is, in effect, distribute this subtraction sign. So we're going to change subtracting that bottom polynomial to adding its opposite. So the subtraction becomes addition, but then inside the parentheses, I'm going to change the sign of each term. So this becomes a negative, this becomes a negative, and this becomes a positive. But now that we've changed it to addition of the opposite, we're adding 2 polynomials, so we can get rid of the grouping symbol and just add them up column by column. Let's see, I've got what? Negative 6x squared y squared plus negative 8x squared y squared, which would be negative 14x squared y squared. I've got nothing plus negative 5xy, which would be negative 5xy or minus 5xy. And then 14y squared plus 22y squared, which is plus 36y squared. So there is the final answer. Any questions about that problem before I go on? All right, now we'll take a look at problem number, let's see, 17. 17 is basically the exact same thing. You've got a polynomial up on top, 5m to the 5th plus m cubed plus 8m squared minus m. And then you're subtracting from that 6m to the 5th minus 6m cubed.
We can't see your work.
I know, I'm just copying the problem down.
Sorry.
But thank you, yes. I know, make sure, yeah. I'm just, so, yeah, I haven't actually done anything yet, I've just copied it down, but thank you. You just never know with me. Okay, so here's the problem. All right, can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to change subtraction of a quantity to addition of the opposite. The subtraction becomes addition. I'm going to change the sign. So this becomes a minus, a plus, a minus, and a minus. And again, we can get rid of the parentheses now. So now instead of subtracting a quantity, we're adding its opposite. And adding them up, adding up the columns, at the left, I've got what? 5m to the fifth plus negative 6m to the fifth is negative 1m to the fifth. I don't need to put the 1 there. It's implied negative. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I had somebody who had a question yesterday about WebAssign, and they put a 1 coefficient in, and it had marked it wrong. And technically, it's okay to be there. I think that just WebAssign doesn't recognize it because it's not necessary. So just be careful. If it's a 1 coefficient, you don't need to put it there. If it's on a test and you put it there and it marks it wrong, I'll still give you credit for it. But just make note of that. Okay, going on. We've got, let's see, m cubed plus 6m cubed is 7m cubed. 8m squared plus negative 1m squared would be plus 7m squared. And negative m plus negative m is negative 2m. So there would be the final answer for that problem. Any questions about that? All right. Now we're going to go to problem number 19. And here we have two airplanes. So it says, find a polynomial that represents the length of the larger jet. So looking at the picture, we have a line representing the length of the smaller jet, which is ax minus b feet, and then added to that is cx plus b feet. So those two quantities added together would give you the length of the larger jet. But they give us some additional information. It says A is 4, B is 16, C is 2, and D is 4. So, and again, I'm going to write all this out and then I'll show it to you. We've got AX minus B feet plus CX plus D feet. And A, B, C, and D are 4, 16, 2, and 4. Okay. So now, so here is the total length of the jet. I'm going to take these numbers and insert them inside the parentheses for the A, B, C, and D. So that first piece would be 4x minus 16. Okay. And the second piece would be 2x plus 4. Any question how I got that? So now, adding two polynomials together, since there's nothing in front of the first one, I can just get rid of the parentheses, plus the second one, since it's just plus 1 times the second one, I can get rid of the parentheses, 6x minus 12, and that is feet. So for this particular problem, that would be the answer. Again, if you have different numbers, you're going to plug them in different places, but it's the same idea. You're adding up the two lengths, plugging in the numbers to replace the letters, and then adding the two polynomials. Any questions about that? All righty. Now we're going to go back and look at problem number 20. It says, consider the following drawing. It tells us about what A of x, B of x, C of x, and D of x. Okay. It says, what is the difference in the length and the width of the 1-bedroom apartment shown? All right, so to be able to find the difference, so we want the length minus the width to find the difference, okay? And the length is A of x feet plus B of x feet. Everybody see where I'm getting this? So here's the length is this piece plus that piece, all right? But up here we have A of x plus B of x. So the length is going to be x squared minus x plus 8 plus 4x plus 2. Okay, let's go back and see what I'm doing here. So ultimately, we want the length minus the width. The length is x squared minus x plus 8 plus 4x plus 2, which is going to be x squared minus x plus 8 plus 4x plus 2, which is x squared plus 3x plus 10. Again, combining like terms. So there is the length. All right. Now, let's go back and find the width. The width is c of x feet plus d of x feet, which is this plus that. So we've got x squared minus 6x plus 5 plus the quantity 3x plus 2. Okay. So I'm going to add those two together, which is going to be x squared minus 6x plus 5 plus 3x plus 2, which is x squared minus 3x plus 7. Minus 3x plus 7. So there's the width. Any questions so far? So now I've got to find the length minus the width. So that's going to be x squared plus 3x plus 10 minus x squared minus 3x plus 7. The length minus the width. Okay? So then that's going to be x squared plus 3x plus 10, distributing minus x squared, minus times minus plus 3x minus 7. So combining like terms, the x squareds would cancel out. I'd get, what, 6x plus 3, and that is going to be feet. So the final answer for the first part is 6x plus 3. Can I go back to the other screen yet, or are you still looking at this?
You can go back.
All right. So again, right here, the answer would be 6x plus 3 feet. So we're taking ax plus bx, adding them together, cx plus dx, adding them together, taking all of this minus all of that, and that gets us this. Then the next question says, find the perimeter. Well, the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And our length was x squared plus 3x plus 10. And our width was x squared minus 3x plus 7. Let me go back here. So the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Here was the length, here was the width, so I've got 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So now I'm going to distribute and get 2x squared plus 6x plus 20 plus 2x squared minus 6x plus 14, which is 4x squared. Those would cancel, and then plus 34, and that's going to be feet. So that would be the answer to that second question. Okay? Any questions about that? All right, so we've looked at 16, 17, 19, and 20. Are there any other questions from last night's assignment that you'd like me to address before we go on?
Yes, the very last one actually.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's one that people had questions about. Okay, and can you see that, or am I on the other screen?
You're on the PowerPoint screen right now.
Okay, thank you. You betcha. And again, this is a case where you're all going to have different numbers, but the idea is the same. Okay, so I'm just going to do this one. Now, This reminds me of shaving. My razor head looks kind of like that. Every time I see that, I thought, what's that doing there? The length of a fan belt that wraps around 3 pulleys, so this entire fan belt is described by this 3x squared plus 12x plus 4.5 pi inches. So that's the length of the whole belt. Find a polynomial that represents the unknown length of a belt, of a part of a belt shown in the illustration below. So they're telling you the entire length is this, and then they go through and they give the length of all these separate pieces, except for this one. So what we've got to do, we've got to add up all the pieces that they tell us, get that total, subtract that from this, and what's left will be that missing piece. Okay? So the whole thing, so I'm gonna write this down and then look at total length is gonna be 3x squared plus 12x plus 4.5 pi inches. And then I'm gonna add up the pieces. I'm gonna start over here at this piece that's pi. I could start anywhere I want, but I'm just gonna start there. So I've got pi plus x squared minus 3x plus 1.5 pi. I'm going to skip over the question mark, that's the unknown, plus 2 pi plus x squared plus 5x. Okay. So now let's go back to the other screen. So again, here's the total length, and here I took all the separate pieces. So I've got pi plus x squared minus 3x plus 1.5 pi plus 2 pi plus x squared plus 5x. Let's see, I've got x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. I've got minus 3x plus 5x would be plus 2x. And then pi plus 1.5 pi would be 2.5 pi. Plus 2 pi would be 4.5 pi. So there's the total length of everything but the one missing piece right there. Okay. So now we're going to take the entire thing minus the part that we know. So 3x squared plus 12x plus 4.5 pi minus the quantity 2x squared plus 2x plus 4.5 pi. So now I'm going to get 3x squared plus 12x plus 4.5 pi, distributing minus 2x squared minus 2x minus 4.5 pi. Combining like terms, 3x squared minus 2x squared is x squared. 12x minus 2x is plus 10x. And 4.5 pi minus 4.5 pi is nothing. So our answer is x squared plus 10x inches. Again, you may have different numbers, but it's the same idea. It looks to me like the only number that changes is that 12 back there. I don't know if this number right here, maybe. I don't know if that's the only thing that might be different. But again, all of this minus this would give you that. You okay with that?
Yes.
All righty. Any other questions before we go on? Okay. Let's see here. Get rid of that and that. And put that over here. So Now we're going to start section 5.6, which is multiplying polynomials. So far in this chapter, we've looked at the idea of adding and subtracting polynomials, identifying the degree of a term, the degree of an entire polynomial. We talked about monomials, binomials, trinomials, polynomials in general. So now we're going to multiply polynomials together, and I want to start out with an example. Let's say we had x times the quantity x plus 3. All right, so we're going to distribute the x through the group x plus 3. So I've got x times x. What is x times x? X squared. X squared?
Yes, X.
Okay. And then x times 3 would be 3x. Everybody okay with that? X times x, x squared. All right. Over here, I'm going to say 2 times x plus 3. What's 2 times x?
2x.
2x. And 2 times 3?
6.
6. Okay. So x times x plus 3 is that. 2 times x plus 3 is that. What if I had x plus 2 times x plus 3? Basically, I would do the same thing I just did. I would take x times x, which is x squared, and then x times 3, which is 3x, and then 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times 3, which is 6. And then finally, those are like terms, so I get x squared plus 5x plus 6. So what we did was we multiplied together 2 binomials, okay? There were 4 different multiplication situations, 4 different products. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So here they are, combining like terms, we got that. This whole process is referred to as FOIL, and let me explain that. Here's the same problem again. Okay. I'm going to take the first here times the first there, so that's going to be the first. Then I'm going to take the outer 2, so that's going to be the outer 2. Then I'm going to take the inner 2, that's going to be the inner 2, and then the last 2, so that's where you get FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. And then, of course, you combine those, so you get x squared plus 5x plus 6. But so this FOIL idea, the first times the first, the outer, the inner, the last times the last. Anyway, questions about that? All right, let's go to another example. Let's say we have x minus 7 times x plus 5. So we're going to multiply them together, or we're going to FOIL them, they'll say. So the first thing I would do is take the x times the x, which is x squared. Then I'm going to take the x times the plus 5, which is plus 5x. So I've taken this first term times everything over here. So now I'm going to take the next term. Minus 7 times x is minus 7x. Minus 7 times 5 is minus 35. But wait, there's more. We'll combine like terms, so we get x squared minus 2x minus 35. So there's your final product. Any questions on that example? Okay. Let's say I've got this. Negative 2a cubed times 11a squared. Now be careful. Here, we're not foiling. There's just one factor, one term times another factor term. We're not distributing, we're just multiplying the two together. This is kind of a review of what happened back in, I think it's actually chapter 2 and perhaps the first part of chapter 5. But anyway, multiplication is commutative, right? You can multiply in any order you want. So this is the same thing as negative 2 times a cubed times 11 times a squared. But I could take the two factors in the middle and switch them around and have negative 2 times 11 times a cubed times a squared. What is negative 2 times 11? That's negative 22. Now, what's a cubed times a squared?
H to the fifth?
What?
Would it be h to the fifth?
A to the fifth, right. So your final answer is negative 22, a to the fifth, because a cubed times a squared, you've got 3 factors of a times 2 factors of a, which is 5 factors of a, so you add the exponents. All right. Let's take a look at another example. Negative 5x cubed y to the 6th times 2x squared y squared. So this time I'm not going to physically rearrange them, but I can still group them. So what's negative 5 times 2? That would be negative 10. And then x cubed times x squared would be x to the
fifth.
And y to the 6th times y squared would be y to the
Eighth.
8th. Good, good. Any questions on that? Okay. How about this one? 4y minus 5 times y plus 7. So now we're back to foiling because there's more than one term in each factor. So 4y times y is 4y squared. 4y times 7 is 28y. Minus 5 times y is minus 5y. And minus 5 times plus 7 is minus 35. So now we're going to combine like terms and we get 4y squared plus 23y minus 35. Any questions about that process? Okay. Let's see here. Let's do one with decimals. 2.6x minus 3 times 2x minus 1. So we've got 2.6x times 2x. Well, let's see, 2.6 times 2, that would be 12, 5, what, 5.2? So I'm going to get 5.2, but it's going to be x squared. Okay. 2.6x times minus 1 is minus 2.6x. Minus 3 times 2x would be minus 6x. And minus 3 times minus 1 would be plus 3. I'm going to pause there for a moment for you to catch up if you need to, and then we'll finish. This is what we refer to as catch up with Mayo. Okay, anyway, you all right with this so far?
That was too much, Mr. Mayo.
Sorry, I know you'd relish the thought, wouldn't you? You're thinking, just let us alone, more cheesy remarks. I know, it's getting time for lunch, isn't it? Not quite, okay.
Like that one.
Killing me.
Sorry, okay. All right, so now we're going to combine those like terms. Well, negative 2.6x minus 6x would be like negative 2.6x plus negative 6x, subtracting numbers like adding its opposite. If you're adding two numbers with the same sign, you add their absolute values and attach the common sign. So I'm going to get 5.2x squared minus 8.6x plus 3. Okay? We all right with that? Yes? No? Maybe?
I would
Yes.
say so.
We're good? Okay. Just want to make sure somebody was still alive out there. All right. Is this like that typical Friday where one foot is still in bed and the other foot is already into Saturday, and so there's nothing here for me? Is that where you're at? No one wants to admit that? Okay. All right. Here we're going to do one with fractions. 8t minus 1/2 times 4t minus 5/2. So again, we're going to have those four products, but now we're going to be multiplying and adding fractions. How fun. Woohoo. Yeah, here we go. All right. 8t times 4t is 32t squared. 8t times minus 5/2. Let's see. So we've got plus 8t times negative 5/2. I'm going to come back and simplify that later. Okay. Then I've got minus 1/2 times 4t and minus 1/2 times negative 5/2. So I just put the two factors together, didn't simplify anything yet. All right. So now the first term is just 32t squared. This second product, I could take this 8 and this 2 and reduce it to a 4/1. So now I've got 4t times negative 5 or minus 20t. Any questions there? All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. I've got a 4 on top and a 2 on the bottom. So that would give me minus 1 times 2 times t, so minus 2t. And then this last product, nothing's going to reduce there. Let's see, negative times negative would be positive 5/4. Any questions yet? Okay, combining like terms, 32t squared minus 22t plus 5/4. Ah, we didn't have to add or subtract fractions. I was wrong. We just had to multiply them. Okay with that? Questions there? All right. We're going to expand our horizons. We've been multiplying a binomial times a binomial. Now we're going to take a binomial times a trinomial. So x plus 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 3. So this is kind of an extension of FOIL, because I'm actually going to have 6 products. So just if we use FOIL, we'll run out of letters before we run out of problem. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the left side and take that first term, that x, and I'm going to take x times x squared. Ah, what's x times x squared?
X to the third?
Right, x to the third, or x cubed. So we get x cubed. X times minus 2x would be minus 2x squared. And then x times 3 plus 3x. So that's taking that first x times everything in the second factor. Any questions there? So now we'll take the 2 times the x squared, 2x squared. The 2 times the minus 2x, minus 4x. And the 2 times the 3 is 6. So now we've got our 6 products. We'll combine like terms. And I'm going to put them in descending order, descending powers of x. So x cubed would go first. Let's see, minus 2x squared plus x squared, those are going to cancel. Then the x would go next. 3x minus 4x is minus x, and finally plus 6. So there's our product. All right with that? Okay. Let's see. We've got 4x times 2x plus 1 times x minus 2. Let me ask you this. Let's say you've got 2 times 4 times 10, okay? Do you take the 2 times the 4 and the 2 times the 10?
No.
You what? You do 2 times 4 is 8, and then you take that times 10, right?
Right.
Likewise. Okay, here in this problem, we're not going to take the 4x times the 2x and times the 1 and times the x and times the minus 2. We're just going to do this, get the result, and take that result times the next factor. Okay? So this becomes 8x squared plus 4x. And then that's going to get multiplied by the x minus 2. Okay? So then this becomes 8x cubed minus 16x squared plus 4x squared minus 8x, which is 8x cubed minus 12x squared minus 8x. Are you okay with how I did that?
Yes.
All right. Take a look at this one. 3x times negative 2x squared times x plus 4. So again, multiplying from left to right, these first 2 factors, we're not going to be distributing or foiling or anything. We're just going to, it's just one factor times another. There's only one term inside. So that's just going to be what? Negative 6x cubed. And then all of that's going to get multiplied by x plus 4. So you see how that's working? How this looks different from this, because here you've got 2 terms inside. Each of these just has 1.
Yes.
All right, you just got to make sure you distinguish between those as you're doing this. So then this becomes negative 6x to the 4th minus 24x cubed. Where did we get the 4? Because there's an implied 1 there. X cubed times x to the 1 is x to the 4th, because you've got 4 factors of x. So again, your final answer, negative 6x to the 4th minus 24x cubed. Okay, now, let's say we've got x minus 4 times x plus 1 times x minus 3. So we've got 3 binomial factors. We're going to multiply 2 things together at a time. Okay, in fact, I'm going to group it just to emphasize. I'm going to do these 2 first. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. Minus 4 times x is minus 4x. And minus 4 times 1 is minus 4. So that's where we're at so far. Okay? Now I'm going to take the stuff in the red brackets and combine like terms. X squared minus 3x minus 4. And then that will get multiplied by the remaining factor. Okay? So now I've got x cubed minus 3x squared minus 3x squared plus 9x minus 4x plus 12. Okay. Now combining like terms and writing them in descending powers, x cubed minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 12. Now be careful because you don't take this times this and times that and everything. You only multiply two things together at once. How many things do you think Einstein multiplies together at once?
2.
None, he's dead. All right, moving on. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not really that sorry. Okay,
Oh, it was hilarious.
sorry. I only get worse as time goes on.
You have some good jokes today.
Sorry?
You have some good jokes today.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sharing them with you, right? I'm keeping the good ones to myself. Let's see here. How about this? 4y squared. As my wife often says to people, don't laugh at his jokes, it just encourages them. Okay, plus 5y minus 10. So here, we're just distributing the 4y squared, just that one thing, through everything inside. So what's 4y squared times y squared?
4y to the 4th.
4y to the 4th, right. Everybody see where the 4th power came from? All right. Plus 4y squared times 5y is 20y cubed. And then minus 40y squared. And that's as far as we can go. Those aren't like terms. Ah, okay. We good to go on?
Yes.
All right. So let's see here. Let's take this one. A plus 3 plus the quantity a squared minus 3a plus 9. A plus 3 times a squared minus 3a plus, that's a 9. It looks sadly like an a, but it's a 9. Okay, so basically we've got two polynomials. We're going to add them, and then we're going to multiply them. So adding them, there's nothing in front of the first polynomial, so we can drop the parentheses, plus the second one, distributing the plus sign, we just get what's inside of there. Combining like terms, we get a squared minus 2a plus 12. All right, so adding those two polynomials, that's what we get. All right.
Yes.
Now multiplying the two polynomials, a times a squared is a cubed. A times minus 3a is minus 3a squared. A times 9 is plus 9a. 3 times a squared is 3a squared. 3 times minus 3a is minus 9a. I was getting nervous because I'm going to run out of room here. Minus 9a. Let's see here. And then 3 times 9. Can you see the 27? Does that show up?
Yes.
Even though it's off the writing part there, I guess you can write over here all you want. Okay. So a cubed. Those are going to cancel. Those are going to cancel. Plus 27. So we get very different answers. And, come on. That's an A. All right. So over the weekend, work on this section. I will be back at 1:15 from 1:15 to 2:15 with my office hour if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great weekend, stay safe, and we'll see you all on Monday.